Across the United States, a quiet industrial migration is underway. Factories are shutting down, machinery is being loaded onto trucks, and production lines are reappearing hundreds of miles away, in Canada. This isn't about sentiment or politics. It's about economics, cheaper electricity, faster permits, bigger tax breaks, and a business climate that's hard to beat. One by one, American states are watching jobs cross the border, and in some cases, it's the heart of their manufacturing identity that's being stripped away. In Pennsylvania, a metal stamping plant that had been part of the Pittsburgh skyline for decades shut down in March 2025. Weeks later, it was running again in Ontario. There, companies get permits in under 4 months, not 9. Power bills are about 15% lower, with full tax refunds on new machinery. Even the shipping routes are faster, cutting 2 days off global deliveries through the Great Lakes. For workers who stayed, retraining and relocation packages softened the blow. But for Pennsylvania's industrial base, the loss was stark. If steel country can lose factories this easily, no state is immune. In New York, an electronics plant in the Hudson Valley went dark, only to be reborn in Montreal's Technopark, Canada's booming high-tech cluster. Quebec's R&D tax credit triples what New York offers. Companies gain instant access to clean rooms, rock-solid power reliability, and a network of global tech firms. The move erased 200 jobs in upstate New York, leaving behind silent warehouses where the hum of circuit boards once filled the air. Indiana saw 3 machine shops vanish in a single month, quietly relocated to southern Ontario. The law, customs clearance in under 2 hours, 10% cheaper electricity, refundable R&D credits, and zero sales tax on new equipment. For 24/7 operations, those savings stack into millions. Many workers followed the jobs north, while others took retraining grants to shift into new roles. In Kentucky, a plastics factory in Louisville closed and reappeared in Windsor, Ontario just 8 weeks later. Ontario's pitch: 30% refundable tax credits for zero-emission vehicle production, near-perfect power reliability, long-term property tax cuts, and direct recruitment pipelines from local colleges. Investors saw stability, executives saw savings. Kentucky was left with an empty facility and a hole in its tax base. Michigan's auto supply chain is also bleeding north. 2 major parts manufacturers set up in Oshawa for proximity to Canadian EV battery plants, lower energy costs, and better export routes. Fully refundable R&D credits nearly double Michigan's non-refundable rate, and machinery sales taxes are wiped out entirely. It's not a labor cost story, it's a strategic upgrade. Missouri's aerospace component sector took a hit when a precision machining plant quietly relocated to Mississauga. Canada refunded nearly 20% of R&D costs, offered longer property tax breaks, and delivered cleaner, more reliable power. Within months, production was back to full capacity, just not in Missouri. Ohio, long a manufacturing powerhouse, is losing its edge. Ford chose Ontario over Ohio for EV supply chain expansion. Intel delayed its $20 billion chip project in Licking County while Canadian incentives drew investments away. Steel producers shifted operations north to cut energy and transport costs. Thousands of jobs evaporated in just a year. Illinois, the third largest U.S. manufacturing state, is also bleeding capacity. Major manufacturers cite Canada's higher subsidies, smoother logistics, and labor stability. Caterpillar moved production lines. Green tech plants once destined for Illinois broke ground in Quebec instead. Investors aren't waiting for Illinois to fix its bureaucracy, they're leaving. Tennessee, celebrated for its booming auto industry, is seeing EV battery plants worth billions land in Ontario instead. Without equivalent incentives, the state can't compete. Projects once touted as economic milestones are now Canadian success stories. Even Minnesota, once an industrial stronghold, is losing mid-sized and smaller plants. Rising energy costs, high taxes, and an anti-business reputation are driving companies to Manitoba and Alberta. Workers are following, drawn by better pay, benefits, and stability. This is not about cheap labor. It's a structural shift. Factories moving where operating costs are lower, incentives are richer, and the political environment is predictable. Canada is executing a long-term industrial strategy while the US reacts piecemeal. The result is a transfer of jobs, skills, and momentum that's reshaping North America's manufacturing map. Unless US states can match the speed and scale of Canada's incentives, this trend will accelerate, one plant, one shift, one forklift at a time. This is True State Report. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.